Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Britain's jails are in a very bad situation at the moment. The whole of the justice system is falling apart because there quite literally isn't any room left at the inn. There are nearly 89,000 prisoners in the male estate, which is actually more than the male estate is supposed to have. It goes to show that some cells must be jam-packed in like sardines. This, of course, is causing a lot of problems. There are people being convicted and then being released because there are literally no space to put them into prison. One of these we reported on earlier during this week, of a man who sexually abused a child and rather than going to prison was released onto the streets. They are, of course, finding room for people who shout at dogs or people who write very hurtful things on Facebook. They are getting 2 and 3 years, of course. Whereas, if you do terrible things to a child, you're allowed to walk free. There's a woman who's the wife of a Tory councillor. She said something on Facebook, and she's not only held, but awaiting trial. She would not accept the instant gratification of pleading guilty at a magistrate's court. She's plumbed for a jury trial, which she's likely to win. But just to make sure that she suffers, she was denied bail. This is where we're at. So she's got to go to prison as well, hey? Wonderful. Now, when you're Keir Starmer and you decide that you're going to release onto the streets of Britain murderers, people who are women, abuse children, people who've committed some vile crimes, violent crimes, and lock up instead people who disagree with your policies, political prisoners, dissidents, because they're the real danger for Keir Starmer, aren't they? Society, the general population, it doesn't matter about them. Their safety is not important. The safety of Keir Starmer's thoughts is all that matters. But it appears there may well be a cure. A lady by the name of Lisa Pacosta has said she can sort this out. She can ease the burden on Britain's jails. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, who the hell is Lisa Pacosta? Well, she is the Justice Minister of Estonia, which I think is the top one of the Baltic states, isn't it? It's Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia at the top. Anyway, she says they've got loads of jails. Their jails are virtually empty. And they're willing to take, for a small consideration, I'm sure, a lot of British prisoners. Now, if Starmer takes her up on her offer, which he may well do, because he needs to lock up as many people as he can, because everyone who says anything against him is a criminal, a deep, bad criminal, then who do you think is going to be the ones sent to Estonia? Will it be the dangerous men? No. Will it be the political prisoners? Yes. You're sending the political prisoners to Estonia, the Gulag, out there in the cold north. He really is absolutely turning into Joseph Stalin, isn't he? He's having massive purges. Oh, yes. Political prisoners. Take them away from their families and their friends, away from society, into a foreign nation, a long way away from civilization. I'm not saying Estonia is not civilized. What I'm saying is you're taking people from Britain and putting them a long way away. Because the further away they are, the less loudly they can be heard when they shout and scream and point out what is actually going on. Out of sight, out of mind, I think is how Chairman Starmer sees it. And I'm sure his Politburo will agree that outsourcing political prisoners to Estonia is a pretty good idea. And it will free up the cells in Britain so they can put back into all those cells all those prisoners they've released that have then reoffended. And so ultimately, all you're doing is dissing dissidents away as far as possible. Two-tier Keir strikes again. Because I suspect that when you are filling prisons with very low-level criminals, as he's doing, that this will be seen as being a bit over the top, a bit zealous. And it's definitely political. Is this the legacy of Keir Starmer and this Labour Party? Political prisoners? It seems to be. We had that guy, we mentioned him getting, not going to prison. He should be recalled. If they go ahead with this and they are freeing up the cells, he should be recalled and given a proper sentence. And Operation Early Dawn can continue apace, rounding up all the people, rounding up anyone who says things against Starmer, against the Labour Party, against the government, against the policies. Anyone who doesn't agree to be replaced can be sent to Estonia. Anyone who doesn't want to have their taxes raised criminally high so that poverty will reign supreme can be sent to Estonia. People who object to children being murdered in the street can be sent to Estonia. Because I think that's the plan, isn't it? Keir Starmer is going to be doing this. The thing, of course, then is it makes Estonia complicit. Now, Estonia has a long history of fighting against the Russians. After all, it was they were a Soviet satellite country. They were glad when the Soviet Empire collapsed and the USSR ceased to be and they got their freedom back. So it makes you wonder why they're so eager to join in and help a reborn, regenerated Joseph Stalin, England's Joe Stalin, sitting down there in Westminster, and why they're so eager to open up their jails as gulags. You'd think they'd have learnt their lesson from history, but apparently not. And it isn't just Estonia. Sweden said they're willing to take some. They're going to be sending these people, but it won't, like I said, it won't be the real criminals going abroad, of course. It will just be the politicals. What a world we live in. What a terrible, terrible world. And every day it's just getting completely worse and worse. You sometimes can't believe the things you're seeing. You cannot believe the things you're doing. But I think it's gone past disbelief now. I think it doesn't matter what anyone says when the Labour Party, we're going to do this now. And I think people just go, yeah, and accepting. People, he's normalising the downtreading of people. He's normalising the removal of rights and freedoms. And he's done so in 6 weeks. Those who go out released early will go on, they'll cause trouble, and they'll damage society. And then Stalin will get the blame for that, won't he? And then the people complaining. Well, wrap up warm. Moving into winter, and I believe Estonia gets very, very cold. Thank you.